players are poised on the brink of greatness. With nearly $750,000 on the line and one big question: who will be the next poker legend?
The World Poker Tour comes to the Bicycle Casino.
Poker Tour is a series of international poker tournaments featuring some of the biggest games and the largest payouts on the planet. Last week, professional backgammon player Gus Hansen took home over $500,000 after battling it out with the likes of poker pro John Hennigan, the young all-star John Uwanda, and poker great Scotty Lynn. This week,
we're at the Bicycle Casino for the Legends of Poker. 134 players started the tournament, and one will walk away with $250,000.
Today's winner will also get an entry into the WPT Championship to face off against the other 11 title holders for millions in prize money. And now, down to the WPT arena, where the voice of poker Mike Sexton and Hollywood's own poker ambassador Vince Van Patten are standing by.
Welcome to the World Poker Tour. We're at the Bicycle Casino in Los Angeles, California, for one of the oldest and most prestigious events on the tour, the Legends of Poker.
Absolutely, Mike, and we have seen the legends come and go in this tournament. You know, they played yesterday all night long till 5 o'clock in the morning. World champions like Phil Hellmuth, TJ Cloutier, Scotty Wayne, great players, all knocked out to relatively unknowns.
Well, 134 players put up $5,000 of their own money to win this prestigious title and to get that guaranteed seat in the World Poker Tour Championship event at Bellagio, which could be worth millions of dollars.
Absolutely. Now, on the World Poker Tour, we play a little game called No Limit Hold'em. You get 2 cards in your hand, and there'll be 5 spread out in the middle. Whoever has the best 5 of those 7 wins.
And as you said, the game is No Limit Hold'em. That means you can lose all your chips in one hand.
Yeah, this is the stuff that legends are made of. So we're in Los Angeles. Let's get to the action.
Okay, dealers and players, it's going to be a $500 ante. The blinds are 2 and 4,000. Go ahead, shuffle up and deal.
Now, a No Limit Hold'em, chips are power. The more chips you have, the more flexibility you have in strategy. So, Mike, why don't you give us a rundown on the chip standings?
Our co-chip leaders are Chris Karagian and Mark Safe. Now, Mark Safe is the attorney, the only non-professional poker player at the table, but he's a fun player to watch, and it'll be exciting to see how he does today. Chris Karagian was born and raised in Lebanon. Chris began gambling at the age of 10. He would count today's win as his biggest cash out ever. In third place, we have Kathy Liebert, who has $141,000 in chips.
This professional player earlier this year became the first woman ever to win $1 million in a single tournament.
Behind Kathy in fourth position is Han Lee. He's starting with $103,000.
Han Lee. He is nicknamed the Kamikaze Kid. Han Lee's aggressive style has earned him the grudging respect of his peers.
In fifth place is Can Hua, who's starting with $66,000.
This man learned the game only 6 years ago. Can Kim Hua and Han Lee, by the way, are best friends.
And our short stack on $47,500 is professional player Stan Goldstein. Goldstein learned to play poker in high school and has been playing professionally for the last 23 years. His take last year from the Legends of Poker was over $83,000, which included 2 wins in 7-card stud high-low tournaments. They call this tournament the Legends of Poker. 6 players are poised to become the next legend. This is really exciting, Vince, to get to see these players' cards, because the viewers are going to get a nice insight on what these players are actually thinking. And here we go, the first hand of the finals of the Legend of Poker. Mark Safe folds. And Han Lee folds, and here goes Kathy reaching for her chips. Kathy Liebert comes firing at the first pot.
Her hand not being that strong either, with just King 8, playing very aggressive.
Chris folds on the button. Stands in the small blind. And he folds. And Can folds, and Kathy Liebert has picked up the first pot. And she's got a little pep in her step here right now. Look at her.
Look at that.
She just picked up 9,000 by raising and winning the first pot. She didn't have much of a hand. The king 8 offsuit. Yet she's stacking chips. Look at her.
She looks happy. That's your girl. That's your pick for the tournament.
It's a great way to start.
Think women can't play poker? If you find yourself in a game with Kathy Liebert, don't bet on it.
It doesn't bother me that often I'm the only woman at the table. This is what I do for a living. The fact that it's dominated by men doesn't really affect me too much. You know, I try to do the best I can. I used to play nickel, dime, quarter home games with family and friends. And I was like, 9, 10, 11 years old. I enjoyed it. And I actually remember going out and buying a poker book and keeping track of my nickel, dimes, and quarters on the cover. And I remember at one point I had like $25 written down as profit. I guess I started up doing pretty well at it.
And now that those nickels and dimes have grown to over $1 million, Kathy can write her own book. And her competitors know it.
Oh, Kathy plays so good, huh?
She trusts her instincts. She's very aggressive at the right times.
Outstanding player. She just won $1 million on the party poker cruise. She's very, very tough.
Underestimate Kathy Liebert if you will, but don't say we didn't warn you.
I feel like sometimes the men don't give me as much respect as I deserve, or they tease me more or something, but, I can handle it.
You make these guys look prettier than they are.
Well, Vince, Kathy's feeling good. Always good to get that first pot under your belt.
Absolutely. What a competitor. Hanley's going to look at his hand first. He's going to throw it away. Now here comes Kathy again. She's picked up a big hand. This is big slick, ace-king.
Whoa, here she goes, 20,000. And now look at Chris.
I'm going to raise.
Chris has picked up 2 queens.
Oh, man.
He is making it 60,000. He's re-raising Kathy.
60,000.
Notice Stan, look at both of these players. Now, he's picked up a pretty good hand, an ace-queen.
That's right.
Now, Stan's a pro. He understands that one chip leader's bet 20,000. The other chip leader's re-raised to 60,000. Normally, on a raise and a re-raise, you'd throw this hand away, but because he's on the short stack, who knows what he might do.
Stan faked it.
That's a nice laydown by Stan Goldstein.
Mark safe looking at his hand. He's not going to call it. It's down to the two of them. What is she going to do?
Now, Kathy's faced with a decision here. She's raised it and been re-raised. She has a nice hand, but she's all in.
She's all in.
She is going for the gusto right here on hand 2. She has moved all her chips in against the chip leader.
Well, you can't be too selective. You can't predict the other guy has queens.
And he calls. Whoa, what a showdown we're going to have here. This is ace-king for Kathy, 2 queens for Chris. Chris is a slight favorite to win this hand, not much. It's virtually a coin flip. See what happens.
Flop is 5, 6.
5, 5, 6. No help for Kathy. Look at her look. She knows she's got to have an ace or king or she's going to be out of here.
Not happening on 4th Street. Chris is in front with his queens.
Kathy Liebert is gone on the second deal of this tournament. Look at her. She's shocked, Vince.
Well, she's absolutely blindsided. She's been whacked. It's like a freight train hits you. Second hand, she didn't even have time to take a sip off a drink.
Whoa. She ran right into the chip leader with the ace-king, and she is gone. She is out of her chair. Over the rail.
Not going to be her year for being a legend. She is disgusted. You have to be. You pick up big slick ace-king, and Chris Kergulian is one happy guy.
Right now she's shaking her head. She thinks maybe I overplayed that ace-king. And maybe she did, but she could have won the pot just as easy as not.
But you're 6-handed. You can't wait all day for aces, king. Ace-king is a huge hand. You're gambling. That's what happens.
Wow, Vince. Kathy Liebert gone in the first 2 hands. Tremendous action in the early going here at the Legends of Poker.
It's truly unbelievable. But before we get too far, let's give a quick tutorial on just how to play Texas Hold'em.
That's a good idea, Vince.
The game is No Limit Hold'em, the Cadillac of poker. It's a game that takes a minute to learn and a lifetime to master. To start, each player is dealt 2 cards face down. Then, 5 community cards, cards everyone can play, are placed face up on the table. Each player combines their 2 hidden down cards with the community cards to make their best 5-card poker hand.
And betting is really what this game is all about. Let me explain. You get your first 2 cards, you make a bet. Then the dealer puts the first 3 community cards on the table. In poker, we call this the flop. They bet again. Then the dealer puts the 4th community card on the table. This is called the turn card. Once again, big round of betting. Then the last card. We call this the river. It's turned up on the table. They make a big last round of betting. Turn the cards over. You see who wins.
They call it No Limit Hold'em because there's
There's no limit on how much a player can bet. At any moment, he can declare that he is all in and push all of his chips into the pot.
Right, and that makes chip position, or how many chips you have, very, very important in this game.
Well, Vince, the crowd is stunned already. Like myself, I picked Kathy to win this tournament, and she's already out.
Bounced out after 2 hands. I mean, she got caught up in a whirlwind there. Too bad for Kathy, but great for Chris Karagulian. Chris, looking at his hand, throws it away, and he had a pretty good hand in an ace-6 offsuit. After winning that big pot, plays it pretty conservative.
Well, I think he's just going to bide his time now. He's in great chip position. I don't think he's going to be looking to do too much gambling, unlike a lot of people would when they had that kind of chip stack. He's going to sit back and just sort of bide his time. And here we go. Now we're down to the battle of the blinds. Now, these are the 2 biggest gamblers at the table, for sure. And you're going to see them clash, I think, sometime. And here comes Mark.
Jack Queen of spade, a pretty good hand there.
Well, that's the kind of hands that you like, I know, Vince. And it's not a bad hand in the blind. He come in for 12,000. And look at Han Lee. Now, Han Lee doesn't like to give up anything. He's got 4,000 in this pot in the big blind. He only holds a 3-8. Look at his thought process. Now, he wants to play a 3-8, and the guy with 320,000 chips through an ace high away.
Well, he's going to throw it away.
He did throw it away. But inside, he's not happy about it.
Mark was telling me that the tournament that he won just a week ago, that his biggest rival was Han Lee, and they got a lot of battles.
Well, I think we're going to see something today between these two.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens.
You'll see me in there a lot. You'll see me bluff a lot. That often leads to an early exit or a lot of chips.
Well, remember, we're playing with a $500 ante and 2 and 4,000 blinds. Now, that means they've got to get in there and mix it up, Vince.
Absolutely, and they are. Ken Wise picked up a nice hand. Pair of 5s in his hand. He's got to like that.
I'm all in.
He's going all in, Mike.
He goes all in. Ken Hua goes all in. Now look at this. Mark Safe has a big decision to make here, Vince.
Well, he's got a pair of 8s. You're right. I mean, it's 2 guys with wired pairs.
Now he has about 165,000 in chips, and Ken Hua has moved all in for about 60,000.
I call.
He's calling.
He's called. He said he calls.
Well, why not? You're only playing 5-handed. You can't wait for aces and kings. Ken Hua's got to be saying, I hope he has ace king or ace queen. Then that way I would have been a slight favorite. Now he's going to love it when he sees that Ken only has a pair of 5s. He will be a big favorite in this.
But he's still got 2 more players to get by here. Now Han Lee has a king 6 here. Look at this. He hates to give up a hand, Vince, this guy.
Absolutely right. He actually thought about calling. It's going to be down to 2 of them.
All right, open the hands, gentlemen.
Let's see him.
Here they go. Now at this point, Mark Safe is in a commanding position with 2 8s against 2 5s.
Oh, Mark's got to love that. And Ken Hua is sick. Here's the flop. Not going to help Ken Hua. Mark is in front with a pair of 8s.
Ken Hua's going to need a 5 or he's going to be our 5th place finisher.
This is the last card. Can Ken Hua do it? He can't.
No, he does not do it.
It's over.
Ken Hua on our 4th deal. We've lost our 2nd player. The action is fast and furious right here at the Legends of Poker.
You know what? There's only been 4 hands. We've lost 2 players. Ken Hua will join Kathy Liebert on the sidelines, maybe go to the bar, have a drink, commiserate, because he is out of there.
Incredible early action.